الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها النبي إذا طلقتم النساء فطلقوهن لعدتهن وأحصوا العدة واتقوا الله ربكم لا تخرجوهن من بيوتهن ولا يخرجن إلا أن يأتين بفاحشة مبينة وتلك حدود الله ومن يتعد حدود الله فقد ظلم نفسه لا تدري لعل الله يحدث بعد ذلك أمرا فإذا بلغن أجلهن فأمسكوهن بمعروف أو فارقوهن بمعروف وأشهدوا ذوي عدل منكم وأقيموا الشهادة لله ذلكم يوعظ به من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر ومن يتق الله يجعل له مخرجا ويرزقه من حيث لا يحتسب ومن يتوكل على الله فهو حسبه إن الله بالغ أمره قد جعل الله لكل شيء قدرا واللائي يئسن من المحيض من نسائكم إن ارتبتم فعدتهن 3 أشهر واللائي لم يحضن وأولاة الأحمال أجلهن أن يضعن حملهن ومن يتق الله يجعل له من أمره يسرا ذلك أمر الله أنزله إليكم ومن يتق الله يكفر عنه سيئاته ويعظم له أجرا أسكنوهن من حيث سكنتم من وجدكم ولا تضاروهن لتضيقوا عليهن وإن كن أولات حمل فأنفقوا عليهن حتى يضعن حملهن فإن أرضعن لكم فآتوهن أجورهن وأتمروا بينكم بمعروف وإن تعاسرتم فسترضع له أخرى لينفق ذو سعة من سعته ومن قدر عليه رزقه فلينفق مما آتاه الله لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا ما آتاها سيجعل الله بعد عسر يسرا وكأين من قرية عتت سألت عن أمر ربها ورسله فحاسبناها حسابا شديدا فحاسبناها حسابا شديدا وعذبناها عذابا نكرا فذاقت وبال أمرها وكان عاقبة أمرها خسرا أعد الله لهم عذابا شديدا فاتقوا الله يا أولي الألباب الذين آمنوا قد أنزل الله إليكم ذكرا رسولا يتلو عليكم آيات الله مبينات ليخرج الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات من الظلمات إلى النور ومن يؤمن بالله ويعمل صالحا يدخله جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا قد أحسن الله له رزقا الله الذي خلق 7 سماوات ومن الأرض مثلهن يتنزل الأمر بينهن لتعلموا أن الله على كل شيء قدير وأن الله قد أحاط بكل شيء علما.
As the gender war rages on, in order to keep the peace, we must discuss the exact facts. Welcome to Exactly. I'm your host, Saad Imam. Remove your shoes and enter upon your right foot, upon the right state of mind, bi'idhnillah. Topic: forget the table. What does she bring to the pantry? Forget the table. What does she bring to the pantry? An alternative title: Her Pantry, aka or FKA, formerly known as the table. In a recent discussion with a female, she was, I think she is past 40. She's saying that she partied a lot in her younger years, got married, and then things didn't quite work out. So she divorced, and now she divorced and she went into some real estate type business, and she was doing very, very well. Then the investors that caused her to do well kind of fell off. Then she didn't make as much money, and she started working for a friend of hers that had invited her in to the business. Okay, started working for her friend, which means she wasn't making as much as she originally did. This is just some obscure details. But the main point of this discussion is that she made a statement that she doesn't feel worthy of being in a relationship at the moment. She doesn't feel worthy of being in a relationship at the moment. If a man would have made that statement, one can surmise or assume that he had or is going through some financial situation. Maybe he lost his job, lost on an investment, something financial, okay? Perhaps he is in need of getting over a previous relationship, something that makes him not worthy of a new relationship. But because this is a female saying so, we may assume that she is pregnant, but she is over 40. Okay? Possible, not probable. That wasn't the case. We can say that she has a stalker. Possibly. Okay. We can say that she has an STD that she has to recover from, so on and so forth, or couldn't recover from. So there are many different assumptions one could make. But the statement from this individual specifically was that she didn't feel worthy because she wasn't making as much money as she was before. So I guess until she climbs that financial totem pole and reach the money she was making after divorce, that she would feel worthy of a relationship. And I kind of scrunched my face and said, real men don't care about that. She said, huh, what? I said, a man doesn't care about your finances. A man is trying to figure out how he could help you, how he could aid you, in any financial troubles or other issues you may have. That's what a man's thoughts are, not, oh, she doesn't make enough money, I'm not trying to start a relationship with her. When someone said in a meme, someone probably made a statement before that, they said that when a man is working toward financial security or gains financial security, he starts to think about wife and child to support and share his wealth with. When a woman gains financial security or gains financial quote unquote success, she starts thinking about how much she doesn't need a man. So it's a totally different dynamic. I say men don't care about your finances. That's not a reason to avoid a relationship, especially if you really want one. Okay. Now, let's talk about the pantry. The question is always, what does a woman bring to the table? Well, the table is usually one level, okay? The pantry has several levels, several shelves. So in this scenario, we'll start with the bottom shelf. What is the minimum a woman could bring to the pantry? What is the minimum she could bring to the pantry? This is the same conversation I had with that young lady. And she said, wow, I guess I never have met a real man in my life. She said, wow, I guess I've never met a real man in my life. Nevertheless, the bottom shelf of a pantry, what is the least a woman could bring to a relationship? And as Muslim, we're talking about marriage. Okay, what is the least she can bring to a marital relationship? I told her a clean home. The man comes home, his laundry is washed and folded, his home is clean. That's minimal. That's minimal. I say that man, after working a hard day, is appreciative that things are neat, organized, and clean. He's appreciative. He doesn't want to come home and clean. He doesn't. So I said that is the bottom shelf. I said I would be much appreciative of that. Much appreciative of that. The second shelf from the bottom, second shelf from the bottom in the pantry that a woman could bring to the relationship is a clean home plus a hot meal. He comes home from work and his home is clean, things are organized, and he has a warm or hot meal prepared for him. A plate, even prepared for him to eat. I don't know if he's going to come straight home, jump in the shower, whatever his job is. My perspective, I'm thinking blue collar, from my perspective, but it's not always blue collar. Sometimes you come home from work, not really a strenuous activity, sitting at a desk, making phone calls. I don't know. I never done it. He comes home, he has a warm or a hot meal. That's the second level of the pantry. Clean home with a hot meal. Okay? So he don't have to come home and make a sandwich or cook for himself. Third shelf on this proverbial pantry is a clean home, a hot meal, and the juice maker. You may say, what's the juice maker? Well, your wife has a clean, organized home for you when you get home from work. She doesn't work. She don't have to. She has a clean home, organized home when you get home from work. She has a hot meal prepared for you, dinner time when you get home from work. Whether she's packing you a lunch, cooking you breakfast in the morning, all of that just adds to it. The third shelf, after the clean home and hot meal, add the juice maker. What is the juice maker, you may ask? She walks around the house when you get home in booty shorts. If you like lingerie, if you like negligees and all that lingerie lingerie, then she walks around the house in your favorite lingerie. If you like t-shirt and underwear, she walks around the house in that. So you have a clean, organized home, you have a hot meal, and you have visual stimulation. The juice maker. The juice maker. Okay? So she is not only neat, clean, organized, she is a cooker of meals, which seems to be in contention these days, cleaning the home and cooking meals. But she stimulates you, and men visual, she stimulates you visually. She walks around in the boy shorts or the booty shorts or the lingeries or the nightgown that you like, or a t-shirt and panties, a t-shirt with no panties. She walks around like that. You appreciate that. That is the third level from the bottom. Bottom level, clean, organized home. Second level of the pantry, second shelf, is what? A hot meal, whether she's cooking you, preparing you breakfast and preparing you a lunch, preparing a lunch, and cooking you dinner when you get home. Whatever variation of that, that is the second level. Third level, she walks around and stimulates you visually. Muhammad SAW said one of the signs, he indicated one of the signs of a blessed wife or a blessed relationship is that when you look upon your wife, she pleases you physically. She pleases you. This is more incentive for women to work on their diet, work on their activities in order to look the best for your husband, just as he should work on his diet and activities so that he can look the best for his wife. Okay? So what is on the top shelf? This pantry only has 4 levels. If you can think of another level, please feel free to comment later on or what have you after the fact. What's on the top level of this pantry? What's on the top shelf? Not only she keeps the home clean and organized, she prepares meals, she stimulates you physically, visually, but she is also secretarial. What do you mean by that? She enhances your business. I'll take myself as an example. As a contractor, there's Thumbtack, there's I don't know about Indeed, but there's Thumbtack, there's other uh, work portals that you could go to. And while you're busy at work on one job, if that job will be finished the next following week, then she will set you up with another job. She goes into your Thumbtack file and finds you jobs. She puts pictures of your past work, into your portfolio. She does all of that. She does all of that. And she becomes like secretarial. Okay? I had a wife that worked for me before. It was a wonderful relationship. I would give her allowance, and then she would do what? She would give me her hours, and I would pay her. I would pay her on top of the allowance, and she didn't let me get away with one red cent short. Okay, that was a beautiful relationship. My wife was with me all the time. We worked together, and we lived together. It was wonderful, and I had two other wives besides her at that time, so we were very, very tight. Okay, she just doesn't do well without me. She does very well with me, you know. So that's how that was. Excuse me. Uh, so comment. Let me go through this comment. Ayub says, "Assalamu alaikum, walaikum salam, bro. A good marriage is expected to provide emotional support, intellectual stimulation, and companionship. Men aren't really interested in women's career." Exactly, exactly. That's exactly correct. Alhamdulillah. Emotional support, intellectual stimulation, companionship. If your man is a procrastinator, you say, "Hey, you need to get that done. Remember, you need to get that done." Babe, that game you could watch the rerun, the replay, the highlights. You got to get this thing done. Get that thing done and get back to the game. This is something that you need to get done. You know, things like that. The emotional support. Go ahead, give it your best. You'll get the job. Things like that. Uh, Companionship, of course, that's understood. But nevertheless, all those things just add to a successful, happy marriage. Okay. So the top shelf, again, she's secretarial. She helps you and she builds your business. If you're an entrepreneur, she helps you and she builds your business. I gave one example, like with Thumbtack. Okay, so on and so forth. So again, this is something that she could do, and as I mentioned with my ex-wife, she can take salary for it. Babe, let's work out a percentage. I want 3 to 5% if I find you certain jobs. Okay? If I find you a $6,000 job, I want $300. Once the job is complete and you're paid, I want $300. She is going to a lead site to find leads, to bid for leads, bid jobs, and she is paid for her leading the lead, or finding the leads, so on and so forth. She's paid for that. This is a beautiful relationship. She's building you while you build her. So she's stacking money. You're out going doing the physical labor, busting your knuckles, getting all scarred up and blistered. And she's, stacking money because she is finding these jobs. And she doesn't pile up so many jobs. Again, secretarial. She doesn't pile up jobs where, um, you know, you losing jobs because you can't get to a job. Having too much work is worse than not having enough work. If you don't have enough work, people can't see your failure. Okay, but if you got too much work, they'll see that you're not on time. You don't finish on time. You don't dedicate 8 hours to that job. They'll see all of that. They'll see all of that. Okay, so again, with that being said, she helps build your brand. She helps build your brand. Okay, this can be white collar or even blue collar. She helps to build your brand. This is the top shelf. Okay, this is the top shelf. Again, bottom shelf, she keeps a clean, organized home. Second shelf from the bottom, she provides for you a good warm meal. Okay, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Uh, the third shelf above that is she has the juice maker. Okay, she wears the nice shorts you like and the t-shirt with or without the panties, and she wears the lingeries and negligees and all that stuff that you like. Okay, she's visually stimulates you. Okay, she keeps herself in shape. I mentioned this to the young lady. Uh, I said, out of her day at home, she takes 30 minutes to an hour out to work out in the home, not around strangers, from the strangers' eyes, but with tight clothes on, yoga pants and stuff like that, and tights and stretchy pants, whatever you want to call them. But she works out in the home to make herself nice and tight and fit for you when you get home, so you're visually stimulated. Okay, and the top shelf, she helps to build your brand, even if she from it makes a business herself as a middleman and she takes salary for it. You'll really appreciate it because she'll keep the money coming into the family. You'll keep work, and it all works together. So this is why I changed it from bringing something to the table. And if you notice, I didn't mention anything about money. I didn't. Okay, so um, people say, what does she bring to the table? I would like to say, what does she bring to the pantry? Because there's levels to it. There's levels. Okay, so that's all that I have on this topic. Now we will move on to delusional dating profile of the week. Oh, well, when you're fasting, water is the best when you're fasting, subhanAllah. Water is the best. I'm thinking about not doing my concoction, my health concoction at night. I'm thinking about doing that only in the morning and just do water at night, like a light meal and water. I think that's what I'm doing. Abdul Wali, walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I hope you caught some of the show. I'm moving on to the delusional dating profile of the week now. Meet Mary. Meet Mary. Now you say, brother, you wrong for showing her face. Well, her face is important. Her age and her face is important to this delusional dating profile. Okay? Mary is 56. Mary wants to match with me. I'm on there for content. But Mary wants to match with me and as a friend, okay? She says, I am a very honest person. I'm a very honest person. I am not looking for sex. She made that clear in bold. Caps, not bold, but caps. I am not looking for sex. Prefer a man with erectile dysfunction. Look at this. It gets worse. Of course, you can see it's worse. She is an honest person. She is so honest, she lets you know, I am not looking for sex. Which means that she's not sexually available. Okay? Look at her face. No harm, no foul. Okay? I prefer a man with ED. I'm going to put the emphasis there. I prefer a man with ED. She wants a man that can't even perform. So that tells you that she is out of performance. Now, a lot of women clown men for ED. What spoils first? A phallus, the man's phallus, or the woman's orifice? Which spoils first? The orifice can spoil first. It loses moisture. It loses elasticity, the ability to stretch. It loses that before the man gains ED. ED can come through many different things. You're overstimulated. You watch porn too much. All these types of things. You think about it too much. You don't fast away from it. So when it's available to you, you're at your peak. I've heard dudes that said, man, I thought I had ED. Then I tried this new type of little issue. I tried this new type issue, and I, pow, 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 like Yosemite Sam, rootin' tootin', shooting, So, uh, sometimes, 80% is up here. 80% of it is up here, and they call it porn induced ED, stuff like that. So you gotta stay away from that haram because that destroys your vigor. It destroys your vigor. So anyway, she says I'm not very talkative. So I'm not going to make the first move. Well, I don't think anybody is gonna move. I don't think anybody's gonna move. It's gonna be the longest chess game in history. Nobody's moving. Nobody's moving. So she says, I'm not very talkative, so I'm not going to make the first move, but I will answer a hey sexy. Oh, but I will never answer a hey sexy cutie beautiful. Bruh, homie, my dog. Let me explain something to you. Ain't nobody, there's not a sincere man on this planet that's going to text you, message you, hey sexy. Instead of hey sexy, he'll say, hey homie. Nobody's gonna text you, hey cutie. They'll text you, hey cuzzo. And they're not gonna say, hey beautiful. They're gonna say, hey bruh. Stop with the madness. You're not gonna answer a hey beautiful, hey sexy, hey cutie text. Stop with the cap. Stop with the cap. Okay? If you're looking for an honest friend, talk to me. I'll answer all questions honestly. First question, why you look like my Uncle Clarence in the face? That's a question. That's a question. Nevertheless, let me stop playing. Somebody might find her attractive. You Everybody's attractive, to somebody. So people called me handsome before. I don't see it. So anyway, shout out to Mary, 56, who prefers a man with ED because she has lost elasticity and moisture and desire. Subhanallah. May Allah Ta'ala protect us from that and make us vigorous. Hatta yawmul qiyamah. Vigorous until the angel of death visits us. Because in Al Jannah, inshallah Ta'ala, we will be so vigorous. That's all that I have. This has been X Factly. And I'm your brother, Saad Imam. I bid you adieu. Share this, like this, comment upon this if you find it useful at all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.